Hello people, you welcome back to the channel. It is your one and only Lady Jackson bringing you this Big Brother MZANSI live eviction show, the 6th live eviction as a day hot. We're done with about 5-6 weeks of the show. It is the 40 something and we have barely a month or so, a month plus before the show is done. And I'm not going to waste your time. We're going straight into the live eviction. So of course, the show started with a live performance by an artist. I didn't take note of their name, but they sang well and the dancers performed well. Before Lawrence had to give us a brief recap of the week, from the head of house games to the making of fashion show games and clothes to Sinaye winning the Friday games and winning 5,000 rand, down to the wager task, the drama between the polygamous relationship, the Els fight, and all the 9 yards. And then he decided to go into the house where he greeted the housemates and told them that they had a good week, congratulated head of house Willie on winning the wager task and becoming the head of house. He also congratulated Sinaye, who won the Friday night games. And then he began to address the housemates. He told those who were up for eviction to get up, and then he announced that Mick Jr. is still on the show. So Mick Jr. is safe for this week and has a chance to win the games. And then he went on to Z, whom he announced is also safe for this week and has the opportunity to win the games. But then he went to Mile, whom he announced has been evicted in the show. She has spent a very good time, about 4 or 5 weeks. And it is good to see. So, of course, Milia has been evicted from the show. She's the first to be evicted tonight. I think there might be 1 more or 2 more evictions to go.
Matt Jr., your journey continues. You may sit. Z, your journey continues. You are safe. Journey has come to an end.
Lawrence came back after a break, and then we had a chit-chat with Mile, whom he asked if she felt like she grew in the competition or didn't grow. He asked her questions like, why was she not engaging in these conversations, and why was she being on her own, that it wasn't helping the game. And she was like, she didn't feel like these were conversations that were going to build her. It was rather antagonistic, and she didn't feel the need to engage in them, so she just had to be by herself. She really engaged in things that she felt she could be in. And then, of course, they showed her journey in the show, and also Lawrence had to go back into the show where he asked the housemates who were up for eviction to get up, and then announced that Papa Ghost has been saved and is still on the show. I literally saw him shaking. I thought he was going to be evicted. And then we moved to Taki, whom Lawrence announced that Taki's journey on the Big Brother show has ended. And it was quite a shock, but it was very expected because all he does is gossip. There was no game for this guy.
Your journey continues. You're safe. You have been evicted. You have 30 seconds to say goodbye.
We then had Lawrence get back, call, Taki to the stage, where he congratulated him for staying this far, being a disruptor and doing so much more, that was one of the hardest jobs to do on the show. And then, they showed him a recap of his journey, how he got to make friends and all that. He said the guys he made friends with are his real G's and he's going to keep that bond with them. And then, Lawrence asked him what it was with Nell, if it was real, and Taki confirmed that it was truthfully real, and they had agreed that after the show they're going to meet and see if they can grow something beautiful together. And I was like, that's so nice. And then of course Lawrence had to go back into the show, where he said that 1 more person will be joining those who have been evicted from the Big Brother MZANSI season 4 show. And he called, whose name did he call first? it was Sinai, of course. He called Sinai and told Sinai that he is still in the show and on the run for 2 million rand on the Big Brother MZANSI season 4. And then he moved to Chuenza and then announced that Chuenza is the third person to join the evicted and has to leave the show. His show ends. And it was sad to see, but it is what it is. The show has to go on.
Continues, you're safe. Your journey has come to an end. You have been evicted from the Big Brother house. You have 30 seconds to say your good. Your journey continues. Emma, your journey continues. Your journey continues. You're safe. Come to an end. You have 30 seconds to.
And then the most craziest things happen. So while they were still interviewing the last evicted housemates, one of Biggie's boys brought an envelope. And, Lawrence in shock read it and was like gasping for, with aghast. And then he stood up and called the housemates who were up for eviction and then announced that somebody else is going to hear their fate. First off was MAKHEKHE, whom he announced has been permitted to still be in the show. MAKHEKHE was almost shitting his pants. Next, we moved on to Liema, whom Lawrence announced that her fate on the show is that people at home have decided that she should still be in the show. I mean, Jareed wanted to stand up and go and hug her, but he had to sit down back. She was very elated. And then we moved to the other besties. Now, Big Brother True Lawrence announced that Yolanda is still in the show. And then sadly, with heartbreak, he announced that Mitch has been evicted from the Big Brother MZANSI season 4 show and has to leave. I mean, Yolanda broke down in tears. She was crying because her friends Mitch and Chuenza have been evicted from the show. But that's not all. We still have the throwing of the daggers. Now, for every housemate from, I think it's from last week or last 2 weeks, if you get evicted, you're going to throw a dagger at one of the housemates who's still remaining for being nasty to you or whatever reason you have. We started with Mile, who threw her dagger at Jareed, saying that he should leave her girls, Mpumi, Liema, and Els alone and find something to do. He doesn't have any game. We moved on to Taki, who threw his dagger to MAKHEKHE. MAKHEKHE literally started cursing him on live television. Then next we had Chuenza throw his or their dagger at Willie for being disloyal to people that he is supposed to be loyal to. And then finally we had Mitch, who threw his dagger at Sinai, telling him to learn to play the game for once. He's just being a background person. And that's how crazily this night's eviction went. Without any drama of ships, Big Brother had to show us he is the man.
I am throwing my dagger to Jareed.
Walk away. I'm shooting bullets at you right now, MAKHEKHE.
I think it's pretty obvious. Willie.